Good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Okay, so this is a story that's really annoyed me today. There's been a GM crop trial going on in the UK. I'll put a link to a story from the BBC in a comment bar below. And today there was a 50-year-old man, at least it was reported in the news today, a 50-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of criminal damage. Now, we can't say he was part of any environmental group, so I'm not going to go there. But there has been an organisation quite publicly against this food trial called Take the Flower Back. Now, for those of you unaware, the trial involves growing a group of spring wheat in a compound, and it's designed to be genetically resistant to aphids. It does this by emitting a pheromone that gives off the aroma, or however, of an aphid in distress. Now, not only does this scare away most aphids, the aphids that aren't dumb enough to run away are then eaten by the natural predators of aphids, such as ladybirds, that come over because they smell a distressed aphid and think, ooh, lunch. Now, the people against this are calling for a complete ban on the research, a complete removal of it from the outer spheres because it's not tested, it's unnatural, it's this, it's that. And this is where I really get pissed off. I mean, I'm sorry. Did I miss the meeting where the environmentalist movement became another religion? You know, because that's what they've become. The GM food movement, the anti-GM food movement, is a new religion. I mean, yeah, fuck scientific discovery. Fuck all that knowledge we could have. Okay, you haven't tested something, but we're not going to let you test it to back up your hypothesis because it kills people. Yeah, lest we forget, it kills people. This is a quote that is often used, saying it can cause harm to people based on a study of monarch butterflies. Now, this study was carried out and was shortly after its publishing was rejected by most biologists, plant biologists, in a meeting in Rome. I have a fascinating book on this subject, and one I would highly recommend, by a gentleman named Dick Taverne, called The March of Unreason. Now, this particular story was used to try and dissuade the people who were making GM crops. And one of the scientists in there who's quoted has said the evidence was so bad and the methodology so flawed that if he had published it, he would hope that at peer review he would have been torn to pieces because it was that bad. There was also another story that gives the sort of disingenuousness of the anti-GM movement, in that in the mid-80s to early 90s, genetic modification was carried out where a gene within the Brazil nut was carried over into soya in the belief it would give a more healthy crop, more nutrients for next to no additional cost to soya, which would have been beneficial to the developing world. However, it was then discovered that this could potentially transmit allergen properties from the Brazil nut into the soya bean. And they found out this could be a genuine risk, and they aborted all production, so it didn't happen. But people still bang on about the fact that this could happen. Look, they nearly killed everyone with soybeans when they put Brazil nut allergens in them. Well, no, they didn't, because it never got published, never got produced, it never got put out in the food stream. It was caught before that, and the scientists were honest about it. And this is the thing, the GM movement is a burgeoning field of new science and biotechnology. So allow me to address the Take the Flower Back protesters directly. Dear ignorant assholes, thanks to you, a bunch of biotechnology that has been growing in the UK steadily and is at the forefront of one of the forefronts of UK genetic science, is now in fear because you are coming along and threatening to decontaminate their workspace, which we all know means you're going to smash their crops to pieces. Don't pussyfoot around. We've all been there. We all know what it means. Your dogged insistence that it's untested and yet you're not allowing them to test it, is a sheer contradiction in and of itself. You talk of matters of there are other ways of farming. We could improve the infrastructures in developing countries to make things better. Of course we could. No one's arguing with that. But the point is, this type of technology could help until that infrastructural development is a reality. This is not just some evil grab by big corporations. Sometimes, as the old saying goes, a broken clock is right twice a day. And the corporations don't always have malevolent interests at heart. GM foods could save people. It could produce food in adverse environments. And your dogged insistence that, oh, we don't want it, it doesn't necessarily mean it's for just Britain's benefit, but it could be of a wider benefit. Your dogged insistence that you have to have your way and that the majority of the public support you. Do you know why the public support you? Because you've perpetrated all these stories about how harmful GM food is, how untested it's been. The media then cycles this because the media loves a good scare. And then the people buy into it and they go, we don't want GM foods. And then you hold this up like it was right, rather than a cycle of your own cause. So, forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, if this has been a rant, but I am sick to the back teeth of these people. They impede genuine scientific progress on the back of their green dogma, and it has to stop. If anyone can come to me and give me a perfect reason as to why smashing these crops is a valid form of protest and it doesn't inhibit genuine scientific discovery, then please let me know. Until then, I hope that all these protesters just fuck off and let scientific discovery continue in peace. This is El Presidente Tel wishing you all good night, and may reason and righteousness guide us all.